Thank you, Comrade Shari, for your introduction. Good evening, comrades of South St. Andrew. Comrade Party President Mark Golding, Comrade General Secretary, Comrade Dayton Campbell, Comrade Regional Chairman, Comrade Dennis Gordon, our Minority Leader in the KCMC, Comrade Andrew Swaby, Comrade Sherman, Comrade Bailey, Comrade Delegates of this great constituency, Comrade Sarah Marshall, Comrade Newland, members of the YO, members of the Patriots. South St. Andrew represents a very special part of my political journey. I'm no stranger to this constituency. And when friends were few, South St. Andrew was always there for me. And I will never forget it. And I will never forget the mentorship I had from Comrade Dr. Omar Davis and the stellar work of Comrade Dr. Rose Davies. Because many times I stood in this auditorium and they were side by side with their education programs. And so, comrades, I pay my respect to you. I am here because of you in many ways. And that is why in 2016, when Comrade Davies was stepping down, I had no hesitation in stepping forward to support your now comrade leader, Comrade Mark Golding, to become the Member of Parliament at that time. And the same way he hugged me up then is the same way he's hugging me up now. And comrades, I supported him then, yesterday, and I support him today. Because my philosophy as a comrade is that you support one leader at a time. And there can only be one leader at a time. And so that is why even when Comrade Peter Phillips had challenged Comrade Portia Simpson Miller in 2008, I supported Comrade Portia Simpson Miller. That is why even in 2019, when Comrade Bunting challenged Peter Phillips, I supported Comrade Peter Phillips. And I support our comrade leader now for him to be leader until he faces. And he has my support. And comrades, it is important. Why? Because a divided party cannot stand. And especially now, because one of the things that you need to recognize in a very real way is that the GLP has never really won an election in Jamaica. And so if you looked at the election results in 2020, you would have seen that we got 306,000 mash votes. Yeah. Now, it's clear that comrades did not come out to vote. In 2011, and that was that was my second term, with less people on the voters list, the PMP actually got 464,000 votes. So you would have seen that we lost our vote count by some 158,000 voters last year. That's a big set of people who did not come out to vote for the PMP. And so we have to really take a step back and look at ourselves, because this is not something that happened overnight. In 1997, in looking at the statistics, what you actually saw is that the JLP actually increased their percent of voter turnout from 38%, about 38.57%, to 56% in 2011. And comrades, even though they did that, when I looked back at it, even though they were able to do that, they still got less votes in 2011 than they did in 2007. And why do I tell you all of this? It's not that more people are voting for the JLP, even though they got 49 seats to 14 seats than we did. It's that our comrades are not coming out to vote for the PMP, and we're not attracting new people to vote for us. And so I believe that if we really put our hands and hearts together and go on the ground together, unified and powerful, we will be dominant, purposeful, deliberate, and we can conquer. So everybody has their strengths and everybody has their weaknesses. The issue is not to play to people's strengths and to stone their, it is to play to people's strengths. The issue is not to stone people's weaknesses. You have to build their strengths. All of us on this platform have strengths. All of you in the audience have strengths. All of you have weaknesses. But I'm not going to play on your weaknesses. And so anybody who decides to do that and say that they're a comrade is not really fulfilling the mission of this party by building the masses of the people of this country. Because if you look at it, comrades, and the truth is, things are not pretty for the Jamaican people, for all of us. There is a crisis that is on our doorsteps. And many of you are feeling that crisis and you don't perhaps understand why. Corona is just a part of the problem. We have an inflation crisis, we have an education crisis, and we have a crime crisis. But the biggest crisis that you're going to face at this point is the inflation crisis. Because what is happening is that Jamaica is so import dependent that many of the goods that you're relying on are coming from overseas. And you face two problems. One, you face the fact that they can't get here on time and the shipping companies are charging more for bringing them here. And because of those shipping delays, and because there's a demand on the supply of goods internationally, the price has gone up for two reasons. So you have oil will go up by about 50%. Now when you go shop, you can't buy oil. Rice, tin milk, tin products, all have gone up. And what has happened is that your salaries have not gone up. So what you could have bought for $350, you can't buy it for $350 anymore. So if you see somebody who is making minimum wage, which is $7,000, let us assume that you get a meal costs about $350, an average meal. That don't include drinks. If you're eating that meal twice a day for 7 days a week, and you're only making $7,000, that is about $5,000 out of your salary already. That not go wholesale yet, that not pay light yet, that don't buy transportation yet, and with energy going up, your light bill is also going to go up. JPS has already signaled that light is going up, and they've gotten a rate increase. So what you're heading into for Christmas is a serious crisis with prices and with disruption of goods. And what has happened is the government has taken too long to act. And what they're telling you and trying to sell is that the recovery is happening faster. A recovery that was pre-COVID. So it is not as if you're recovering past what you were in terms of COVID. You're just going back to those levels. But you don't reach yet. And so that is the first crisis. The other crisis is that 3 out of every child, 3 out of every 5 children who live in Latin America and the Caribbean has missed 1 year of school. 60%. And those are the latest studies coming out of UNICEF. So you have an entire generation of children who have not essentially gone to school because 1, they don't have access to the devices. 2, even if they have access to the devices, they don't have access to steady Wi-Fi. And even those schools, 50% of the schools last year that actually got on, only got on for 3 hours to teach what was comparable to 3 hours of classes. 32% of our schools got on for 1 hour. So what you're having is significant learning loss in our country. Now imagine those students from grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, who are not able to matriculate to the grade ahead of them. That's a problem. And it is going to be a problem for us as a country, because going forward, they're going to have difficulties in making sure that they get the relevant qualifications to get a job, to take care of themselves in life. And with the world ever changing and as dynamic as it is, you don't have any protection against larger countries. So your child, my child, Comrade Leader's child, Dayton's child is competing with that child in India, in China, in Indonesia, in the Caribbean, in Barbados, because now that everything is technological, you can work anywhere in the world. And so if our children are not qualified, we are going to be left behind. And right now, Jamaica is coming last in terms of the numbers of enrollment in the English-speaking Caribbean in terms of education. We're now 2 years into the pandemic, and the Ministry of Education is moving too slowly in making sure we get back to levels where our children are being educated. So I don't even need to talk about crime. Imagine as a mother, you put your 5-year-old to bed and a stray bullet kills your child. And that, I feel that in my belly button, and I get goosebumps because I know as mothers how we go out and protect our children. And I grieve with that mother and every family. But that's where you are. If you take up the newspaper now and you look at Jamaica, you don't even want to come out of your house because crime has surged. And you can't PR that away. So comrades, I am not here to talk about issues that I know we can get over. We have done it before. I'm here to tell you that we need to settle down. We need to put our heads down. We need to work together. We need to become more unified as a family. Because right now, the opposition, the country is looking for us to speak on their behalf. And they are tired of us fighting amongst ourselves. And so if you look at the numbers, whereby we lost 158,000 persons who voted for us previously, the assignment is simple. The assignment is simple. We have to bring back the confidence in the Jamaican people, but we also have to go out there with a message. And the message is not only about vote for us because we're a PMP. The message is about solutions. The message is about, yes, we have to raise the minimum wage. We called for that. Peter Phillips called for it when he was leader, and we need to raise the minimum wage to a livable wage for our people. We need to get our children back to school, and not back to school with just a tablet and put a tablet in their hands. We need to get them back to school. So if there's no boots on the ground now, helping those children in rural communities like mine who are not able to use a tablet, or their family have one little piece of phone but can hardly work now, and a 5 picnic to use it. You need teachers to get on the ground to go and see those children. And in terms of crime, we need a proper crime solution. We don't want to go to Parliament every single time hearing about statements by ministers and about elite CPOs who are going to now go on the front line. This is what is going to mar our country. So as the party, we have 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. That's a lot of time. I've been around long enough in politics to know that we can do it. I saw us do it in 2011, and I believe we're going to do it again. So comrades, whatever I can do to support and help, I am here. Whatever I can do to help with policy, I am here. Whatever I can do to walk and talk to people, I am here. I've spoken to the comrade leader on several occasions and met with him from he became the leader. And I told him that he has my full support at all times. So never let anyone tell you that he does not have my support. Never let